Let's see how this thing works. We're live, Cage. All right, Luka Nation. This is pretty cool. We're using a new piece of technology here. So we're streaming this live right to YouTube because I think it's just going to be more fun to do a Q&A straight on YouTube Live. And I think over time, more and more of our community will join in and we'll actually ask questions right there through the chat. So welcome back to a weekend edition of Coffee with Cage. I am drinking coffee. I'm having a lazy Saturday. This is kind of a dream. You know, you got soccer back in the mornings. You have full slate of games in baseball. Opening day was just a few days ago. You have a Final Four. You have NBA. It's just spring is in the air. Life is good. What can you complain about? So I want to welcome you guys back to a Coffee with Cage episode. This is going to be super, super fun. See, we're even getting comments already from Drake's. What's up, guys? Cage, how you feeling?
Comments. Where do I see the comments? I don't see comments.
You see it right there.
Oh, look at that. You know, Drake's PC. What's up, guys? Awesome.
Let's start with Drake's question. Let's start with Drake's
National
question.
League, American League today. I got a little baseball. We got a little Giants. Used to be a New York team. Now they're like the forgotten child out there.
Cage, this first question as you drop your phone all over the floor. So Drake's PC asks, how do you gain confidence? And this is going to be good because you did this. How do you gain confidence in something that wasn't previously an investment category? Cards, crypto, NFTs, and feel good about spending lots of money on it. So take it back. Take it back to when you first heard about Top Shot. What was the first thing you did?
Research. All research. Hours and hours of research. And you continue to do that research, by the way. So, I mean, it's funny because the answer to the question it's almost like a trick question. How do you have confidence in it? Your level of confidence is always going to change, right? Depending upon what's going on with those investments, right? Cards, crypto, NFTs, right? I mean, NFTs, let's talk about Top Shot, right? Because that's what you asked about, like research. So first off, I didn't know what it was. Then, you start to think, what's the team behind it? Who's investing in it? Who's got money in it, right? And so this week, Michael Jordan and, other people invested $300 million in Dapper Labs, which is not just Top Shot per se, but it's the company behind it, the one developing the blockchain that it's built on. But it cuts both ways, right? I mean, the research that I'm doing now on pricing on Top Shot is anybody who has come in the last month is underwater. And one of the coolest things that Top Shot had going for it was when new people came in, those new people were rewarded by something, some challenge, some limited edition moment that they bought their pack, and they were able to sell it for more money, you name it. And the word of mouth that they got from the new people who kept coming in, kept being able to turn their money over and color up and buy something else. Twitter, Discord, everything was it was like a big party. It was a to the moon party with lots of rocket ships, right? Now that I see
now the party's over. Now the party's over horses.
Not yet. The horses, the party will end on the rocket ship for horses will turn into chocolate frozen yogurt soon too. Different emojis, different.
Are you spending as much time as you were on Top Shot researching the horses?
I have researched the horses.
Can you give us a background on that? Because that was all over my Twitter feed. AJ Vaynerchuk picked one up. Jack Settlement. So
the price to enter yesterday was like $16,000. So it's a very different market to enter. So that's, you can go on Top Shot right now and enter Top Shot and buy an NFT for $3, $4, $5, and you get a pack for $9 if you're lucky enough to get a pack. In the last couple of weeks, they've made packs available to anybody who wanted one at $9. It's a very different type of investment than that horses. And I think the horse is it's the next thing that people are putting their money into. And the same AJV and Settlement, they bought their crypto punks. They talked about their punks, and their punks went up and their punks went down, right? And the floor on crypto punks dropped, the same way that everything else did. I don't know what that was. They bought their Top Shot stuff, that decreased. They're buying their horses now. And what's funny is they're probably a couple of days away from selling their horses and buying something else that they won't talk about for a week or two. This is how the influencer game on crypto seems to be working.
Cage, another thing you do is you scaled in and you scale out, right? Yes. So feel good about spending lots of money. I think a big thing is and we do this all the time, and I try to catch myself, at least be aware of it, is we either talk all or nothing, right? It's either like push all of our chips in or pull all of our chips out. And I would actually say the right way to do it is to scale in and to scale out. So like if you want to talk about scaling out, let's say you invested $5,000 into something that's pretty risky, right? As horses, Top Shot, Star Stock, Dibs, whatever it is, and your portfolio is 15. Can you take 2.5 out? Can you take 3 out? Can you take 1 out? Can you scale out? And can you also, if you see success, can you scale in? You know, put $500 in, put another 500. I think we always think, and I think it's our personalities. We're all or nothing guys. I think scaling in or out is a big deal.
And by the way, scaling in, scaling out. One of the crazy things with certain forms of these investments are the ability to get in and get out. And it is one of the things that I hope somebody from Top Shot is listening to this, or somebody plays this for them, or somebody, clips it and posts it, or whatever you can do with these things. But I mean, I've been in for 3 months now, and you can talk about scaling in. That's fine. We did. Scaling out, I can sit here and honestly tell you that they post millions of dollars coming out. 40-something thousand people have access to withdrawals. I still have not gotten $1 out of Top Shot. Not a single dollar. So as it currently stands, if they go bankrupt tomorrow, with all the crazy numbers, all the evaluate markets, which doesn't work, and all the intangible markets, and all the Top Shot millionaire talk,
Dude,
I'll actually lose money.
We're on Moment Rank.
Yeah,
we're on Moment Rank.
Moment Rank.
Evaluate that market was like last week.
So whatever rank it is, go ahead. Hey,
so Chris Layton, he wrote. He's catching up on the pods while driving, but he had a good comment. I'll get into the questions, guys. Today's episode, it's gonna be 30 to 40 minutes max. I want to go watch the Final Four. I think you guys all want to spend the Saturday with your family, so it's gonna be a quick one.
What do you guys think?
He was asking about
audio good. You put some comments in there. Yesterday's episode was a little bangy and echoey, and he used to give me shit. Now I hear like bah, 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 at the end of every.
Is it shitty?
It's like I hear like a lot of like bah, like at the end of a sentence. There's a lot of like I don't know how to explain it. Just sort of like an echoey like tin can.
Why are you just telling me this?
Oh, that sounds good. That sounds better. You sound better now. That sounds better now. Now I hear like a robot. It's like a Transformers episode.
How about now?
It's good. A little more. That's much better. I like it. I feel like I just escaped out of a tin can. This is awesome.
Are you being serious or being sarcastic?
No, I'm 10% serious.
All right. Well,
but still significantly better.
Reaction from my co-host, so I'm going to assume that all is good, guys. In the comments, if anything's no dice on the technology, just let me know. But he was asking about CSG. Well, actually, he was making a statement how KK Sports Cards is the only verified PSA sub of CSG. Mm-hmm. In your experience, man, talk about that. Do you see CSG or any other card company having opportunity to become a real player in this space the next 3-6 months while everything is going on?
Well, I think it's smart of them to pair up with KK because he does a huge volume of business and he's not going to have any other thing to offer. Remember, he announced that partnership with them before this PSA shutdown was announced.
Right.
So chances are he was already taking some cards in. He was already doing that. He was already probably, I don't want to say pushing that, but offering it as a low cost alternative, which is great because one of the biggest complaints that I have about this is exiting the hobby for the little guy, right? It's cost of playing. That's why these Zed horses baloney is not going to catch on with the little guy because, first of all, it's weird. And second of all, the price to enter is high, right? And PSA now, I think even when first of all, the price to enter is $300 now. Even when they open the doors back up, I think the price to enter is going to be even harder. The price to play is going to be harder and higher. So CSG does have an opportunity. And right now, for Kyle, it's the only game in town. So anybody who sent him cards or was thinking about sending him cards, he will likely be steering them for the time being to CSG. I think it's smart on both their parts. It provides a low-cost alternative.
I love it. So CD Cards, same guy asks, is the next 3 months, is it worth going through your collection to search for grade-worthy cards and kind of put them aside, or would you be selling them raw?
Both.
How would you decide? And this is modern and vintage.
So vintage I'd hold and do PSA and or be thinking about sending something to CSG if they start to develop some credibility. But the stuff I'd be thinking about selling raw, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is already, is the modern stuff. that could see a dip in price because it's new. Like if you're opening Prism basketball like I did, you guys have been on this ride with me. During the course of the podcast, I didn't sell a single card on eBay. July 3rd was the last one. This podcast started two weeks after that, and you heard my whole Steve Slayton saga about how it got returned, even though it was a PSA 10, and I'm not going to deal with eBay, and they're allowing people to be garbage on there. But I opened some Prism stuff, and I actually sold 3 cards raw out of that Prism box, and some of them were cards that I might have graded. Actually, strike that. They're cards that I definitely would have graded because they were in good shape.
Bulk sub. You would bulk everything.
100%. I would have bulked that. 100%. I would have bulked those and I would have sold them. And one of them was a black gold. It was Kobe White the second year, but I got $450 raw for the card. Think of what that would sell for. It should 10, but I'm not waiting on that card. I'd rather just sell it raw. So it's one where I would have thought about submitting that one and maybe trying to do like a 20-day sub with somebody, if that still existed, with PSA, but instead I sold it raw, something like that, because like people are looking for the Prism basketball now. There's going to be a new release next week. There'll be something, I think Select Football comes out next week. Then there's going to be all these soccer releases. The same people who are, breaking the Prism for this week and next week, they'll be breaking something else in a week and a half, and the buzz will die down. So for me, to answer CD cards, I'm selling the hot stuff raw. Because, ooh, baby, can sing it for me. Come on, ODB. Fill in the no, you're not going to rap? You're not going to rap first?
It's crazy looking back just 1 year ago how easy it was to make money in the hobby. Because you would just, if you bought right, I mean, you would send anything in. If it got a 10, you 10x. If it got a 9, you got your money back plus a little bit on top. And BSA wasn't giving out 8s and 7s on modern cards.
Well, it's amazing how smart we are when the market is going good. And it's the same thing in everything, man. If you were in Top Shot, you put money in Top Shot, you put it into anything, and the next day the thing went up, and you were like, oh, look what I did. I could sell it for more now. When the market's not going so great. And let me also take a pause for a second, right? Because I kind of crap on Top Shot and crap on everything. Card ladder.
We love you because of this. We want your authentic comments. We want your highs, your lows. I can withdraw. My account is in the top 0.
Not $1. But you ready for this though? Card ladder. Somebody posted it today. I should give credit to whoever posted, but it was a card ladder chart. And I love those guys. They think I don't, and I give everyone a hard time. But I love both those guys. But they have a very good product, the card ladder product. And what I was looking at was a chart, the year chart of the LeBron Chrome rookie, right? Because that card, Topps Chrome, 2003 Topps Chrome, that card was basically $20,000 to start the year. It's like $17,000 or something like that is what it was. But basically $20,000 this year to start this year. So for the last 3 months, and went all the way up to $40,000. Now, because there's a lot of LeBron testicles out there who love LeBron, they won't put that middle finger chart that they put up for the Jordan card, but it is a middle finger. It's an exact middle finger chart. It's one of those things where the card spiked to $40,000 and has now dropped. The last sale yesterday, $20,000 the card sold for, right? So it's basically flat on the year. So if you're somebody who was in Top Shot in February and you're like, wow, all the cards, all the moments are back to where they were. But if you look at it from last month to now and you say, wow, everything's down 50%, everything was 40,000, it's not just Top Shot, it's everything. I mean, the market is correcting bigly.
I was thinking about that as well. The market is probably correlated between Top Shot and sports cards, right?
And Bitcoin and other Ethereum and just you name it, all that stuff, right? So anything that people are buying as investment vehicles and the like, if it gets out ahead of itself, it's going to correct. It's just what's going to happen going forward.
Cage, I'm sitting by the pool, kids running around. You're going to hear background noise. Okay. They're not my kids, so I can't say anything. But they're really nice. They're really well behaved. It always scares me when kids run by the pool because I just feel like they're just going to eat it, and it's concrete. It's like that gravelly concrete. Ugh. But anyway.
Will you laugh? Will you laugh if it's not a kid you know? If it's just like some random kid, like it's a neighbor. What about the annoying kids making a lot of noise in the background? If they hit their faceplate, you laugh a little?
Kids don't annoy me. Bad parents annoy me. It's really interesting. Phantomas for Cards asks, if you had to invest in one player long-term from the 2018-2019 draft, who would it be?
Oh, I'm going to be boring, man. It's going to be chalk. So I'd love to pick kind of like a, like an under the radar player that's got upside and you name it. And when I first see this question that you expand to 18, of course you'd want me to think Luka, right? Oh, Luka, he's the greatest. He could be the face of the game. He's a quality player. He's going to play for a long time. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with Zion right now, and here's why. I don't think he's going to score 100 points, although that was a fun little video. Most of the people who voted on that one went, "You're nuts if you think he's going to score 100 points." But the best investments, as we're seeing with Michael Jordan, as we're seeing with LeBron, are the ones that have the ability to become generational talents, right? And Zion's cards right now, they're baking in him being good. They're also baking in a lot of downside. A lot of he's fat. A lot of he's not going to last. A lot of he's going to hurt himself. A lot of, his game is not going to translate for longevity. On the flip side, Luka's cards are already pricing in that he's going to play for 25 years. You know what I mean? And that he's a pro, and that he's still young, and that he's going to, and there's probably a couple championships built into him. His cards, his Prism rookie is right now, what, 3 times, two times at least the price of a Zion. And I know there's, the pop issues and the whole deal. But to me, one of those guys gives you much more potential upside, and it's Zion. Because he, of the two, has a chance to be somebody who you look at and go, wow, like somebody who can play the game differently for a significant amount of time. Who knows what's going to happen? And in basketball, a lot goes into it. Championships, what team you're on, there's a lot of luck that goes into it too. But if you're asking me, I have to pick one. Luka's a little safer, right? But I think Luka also has a little bit more downside. Luka's got a little, his ankle doesn't hold up. He doesn't do what he's supposed to do. And, he doesn't win. I think that there's a lot of, already expectations already built in. Zion, the downside on him is, the cards, his Prism 10s, and, they don't really sell that high right now. I think that there's...
They're half of a Luka, maybe maybe close to 60, 70%. But what's interesting is if you look at Top Shot prices, Top Shot, even if you're not on it, it's a great tool for research because it's a super liquid marketplace compared to cards, and you get to see all of the sales right there. So, I use the Luka Gold and the Zion Gold of Series 1 as kind of a barometer. They're trading at the exact same price, right around.
But you know why, right? Because that's a Zion rookie. That's a 2019 card. So it's a Zion rookie. So it's a Luka second year.
Does it have a special badge?
Yeah. Yeah, it's got the debut, it's got his badge, it's got everything. Even if it didn't have a badge, that's the first year. So Ja cards from last year, Ja moments from last year, those are rookies. That's like the LaMelo of this year. So that's the difference in those.
All right, Talking Sports Guy asks, what's the ugliest hype card in recent times, and why is it the mini LeBron Prism?
I think that's a great question, Talking Sports Guy. I love it. And I opened up a card. We happened to be on a little Zoom with our production team yesterday when I opened a box, and on my second box I did get a base LeBron, no parallels, no nothing, and I made like a little old man joke, like, I think that's LeBron on there. I can't see. Let me get my glasses. He's so small. He's in the middle of the card. So, odd stuff, right? But what's the ugliest hype card? That's definitely up there. It's a cool card. It's a great moment. If we're gonna now put that phrase into the vernacular of collecting, right? It's a great moment. It's a cool dunk. But did they have to make him so small? Did we need to see that much of the stadium behind him, that much of the arena behind him in the dunk? They had to make it so small. Let's see, uglier hype cards. The egg card is one of the ugliest hype cards ever. Because who the hell wants a card of an egg? That was just all total hype. I'm trying to think of other hype cards. Bol mosaic card, because Bol he's ugly. So any Bol card that got hyped up
the game.
He might have some game, but he is a hideous man. He's a hideous individual. He asked, "What's the ugliest hype card?" Bol is not what you would call traditionally handsome.
NBA is, and then you just pick a player, and you're like, "Well, now on a card."
Anything with Bol on it, no. That's an ugly card.
Paige is in our UI UX guy for Luka Nation. Let me go different angle. I really like this card. Kizzle Cards asks, do you dream of or plan to do cards full time? What would you need? What would you need to happen in order to do it full time? I'm gonna mute them.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Of course, I would love to do it full time. Do I dream of it? I think anybody who is involved in the hobby, the content of it, kind of delivery of it, or whatever it may be, definitely dream.
Chris Layton said the Biden card is the ugliest.
That was a hype card. Listen,
by the way, the Obama card from that year, him shooting basketball, is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure if you gave me some time, I could come up with some ugly cards. I mean, I try to do my best to not to look at the questions. We try to do this on the fly. It becomes a little more authentic to answer these questions without seeing them before. As far as the dream, sure, man. I mean, but my dream should be thrown out the window because I'm the guy who, it's funny when I met my wife and we were talking on one of our first dates about what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? And I told her my dream job was to own a Blockbuster. So tell you, maybe you shouldn't follow my ideas of how to be successful in life.
What's the backstory to that? Why a Blockbuster? Why not?
Dude, because it was Redbox didn't exist. I mean, that's first reason. Blockbuster was a juggernaut. Thinking about that going.
Yeah, but if you're always catching up to businesses, you're always going to be behind. Think about
Blockbuster was it was a juggernaut. It was like thinking Coke would go out of business at the time. It was just huge, and it was a cool thing because it was like you get to sit there, watch movies, and tell people what movies they should watch. Like, how do you beat that? Like, that's like a perfect job. Like, you make money by people renting movies. They got the movies on in the background. You got popcorn and candy all around you.
You'd be the perfect Blockbuster owner.
Thank you, Preston. Appreciate
Would you charge late fees for someone who returned it a little late?
Dude, they got rid of late fees at the end, but that backfired. I mean, there's only one Blockbuster that exists. Pretty cool documentary on Netflix. Yeah, it's in Bend, Oregon? There's one left, and it's kind of surviving still. But we watched it, and I found my Blockbuster card. I still have it. I still have my card. I still have my Blockbuster rental card. I think they sell for pretty decent money on eBay too. So do I dream of it? Yes. What would need to happen in order to do that full time? I don't know. I mean, a couple of my cards have gone up significantly in value, but I don't want to sell them. So, I guess that would be one thing. Enough where I was able to make enough off of this to be able to replace the income of my job full time. That's, it's a boring answer. The first part of it is, do I dream of it? 100%. Second part, what would I need for it to happen? I mean, you all should send me a whole bunch of money, and then I can do it full time. Does that make sense? It was good, right?
Here's a good one. We only got a few more because I want to keep this at
This is a great one. This is a great one.
Nerd asks, before I even ask this, did you, before hopping on today, watch the Space Jam 2 trailer? You're on mute, brother.
Am I back now? Sorry, my phone rang. I did not watch the Space Jam trailer. I did not watch.
We'll have that for next week. But what did LeBron do to make you so butthurt?
So I could take this many, many ways. I'm not butthurt. I think he's a great, great, great player. But in 2003, when his cards came out, a bunch of things working against him for me as a collector. First of all, I had just started working. I was working for a couple of years and not making a ton of money. And the cards, even though they're not anywhere near what they are now, they were expensive back then. This was sort of like a card boom. And packs were expensive. I was able to open Topps packs, but I wasn't opening Chrome. I wasn't opening anything like that. And two, his cards were like the LaMelo now. Where like Hoops came out and it's $300. Luka, you could still get his stuff cheap when it came out. Zion, you were buying him for $50. Like, when LeBron came out, he was the least kept surprise in the world. You know what I mean? Like, he legit was the savior of the sport, the savior of sports in general. Like, he came out of high school and he was King James, right? King James, right off the bat, right? I mean, and we're talking about people who know. I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of text here. People who know him from high school.
Are people sending you money?
Yeah, people sending me money. Exactly. I'm going to set up a GoFundMe.
Do you think it has something to do with we as society always want to have discovery. We always want to be first to something.
That's part of it. I was just
there's no first to LeBron.
None.
He was like, here, you're the and he. It's not like he messed up and then lost his fans and had to rebuild. He's just been. You got to hand it to the guy. The guy's had pressure on him for 20 years.
And he's a fantastic player. But think about it. Here, I'll go back to it. So
I think his blessing is his curse.
Well, you're right, but it's more of me, and it's not that LeBron did anything wrong. It's you always like to be the person who finds the other one, right? So I was, and listen, this is not exactly a diamond in the rough, but I was more of a Carmelo fan. I was in college. I was watching the Final Four. I watched him win the championship. He came out, and to me, in my brain at the time, it was, wow, everybody's hyping up LeBron. This kid is a year older, right? Played 1 year of college, won a national championship, And, he's going to be all that LeBron was and more. So I was more of a Carmelo guy when LeBron came out. So if I had chances to buy cards, I was buying Carmelo cards rather than LeBron because they were significantly less money than LeBron was because everybody just wanted LeBron. And D Wade got no credit either. He had a great tournament, that year also, the year he came out. But so that's number one. Number two, it's all the same. It's all the no surprise, no build up, no nothing. People tell me Giannis is great. I'll root for Giannis because legit, the guy came out of nowhere, right? I mean, he wasn't drafted high. He's had to work for it. No one has come into this league more physically gifted than LeBron James, right? This is like, a perfect specimen to play basketball. So it's not that I'm butthurt. It's just, he's winning 4 championships. He's supposed to win 4 championships, right? He's supposed to win more than that, especially. And guys, I hate to be the LeBron hater, right? I mean, he's a great player. He's going to go down as one of the greatest 2-3 players of all time. It's fine. So I'm not trying to be unreasonable with my takes on LeBron. Trust me, but I am trying to tell you that when he went to Miami, like, he needed to win, right? It would have been a joke if he didn't win a couple of them. The fact that he didn't win more, with these teams, the fact that Dirk Nowitzki's team, beat him that one year. You know what I mean? Later on, it's he's a great player. He has done more to maneuver himself to great teams to make sure that he won championships. He had more to work with. He had the ability to do more in the league and positions himself to win more championships than anybody has ever done. You know what I mean? Jordan didn't do that. Jordan got drafted by Chicago.
My basketball buddy would disagree with me, and he's a coach. So I'll take his word on this. But for me, I love seeing players improve. I love seeing players add moves to their arsenal, right? Like come in and Kobe. If you look at Kobe when he first came in, and I just use him as one example, he was really athletic, but he didn't have a ton of moves. He wasn't great in the post, and he added moves to his repertoire as he went to his game. Dwayne Wade is the same way. Jordan is the same way. I truthfully feel like LeBron kind of, and maybe he's right, like he took really good care of his body. He's as athletic now as he was when he was a kid. And he leaned into what was his strength instead of his weakness, but he didn't improve a lot. Like he doesn't have a great offensive arsenal of moves, and that's what did it for me. I would have loved to see him get better and better and better and better to really reach his full potential. To me, it's hard to say that he did reach his full potential as a fan of the game.
So that's it. So guys, don't take it the wrong way. Don't get it twisted. He's an amazing player. If you look at my Top Shot account, 90% of the value of it is in LeBron, right? So I'm not telling you to stay away from him and dropping fast like a stone. So, but I just it's tough for me to get behind him. That's all. What else you got?
Last one. This is gonna be perfect. Right at 30 minutes. 412 Sports Cards asks, and I think these are two unrelated issues or happenings or events, but you'll tell me if you think they're related. How concerned are you about card prices falling as COVID restrictions ease? And I think the hidden meaning in this is there's less demand as people go back to work, fun, parks, etc. And cards are just one of many things you could do.
It's going to be a couple things. One, I don't think people go back to work full time ever again, or for quite some time. So we'll see what happens there. But I am a little bit concerned about this. Not just the restrictions easing, but what that means. So right now we're a captive audience. Very few people are traveling. Very few people are doing anything else. So one way to look at it is the amount of time you have, right? Most people are home. When you're home, you're flipping. You're on cards. You're on Top Shot. You're on eBay, and you're opening cards and you're selling cards, and you're on whatever platform you're on, Twitter, talking about the horses. Or you're on Twitter talking about, what you're going to buy, you name it, right? Once that opens up, you would think that people are going to have more time at the beach or more time at the park or more time doing whatever else they're doing. But the flip side to that is right now, for the last year, people legit have had more money to spend and nowhere to spend it, right? We're talking about stimulus packages that have come down the pike. We're talking about not having to pay for dry cleaning to clean your suits to go to work. We're talking about not having to commute, not have to pay for gas to go anywhere, not being able to go out to dinner, so not having to pay for that. We're talking about people who have had disposable income that they've had no place to put it, and it's been easy to put that on cards or other types of hobby investments. So that's an interesting, it's an interesting question, interesting take. I don't think the hobby's going anywhere, and while it may be a temporary blip, right? You'd like to think that when people are able to kind of go to games again, when people are able to be at sporting events in person, and we're able to hold these things without worried about, COVID restrictions and COVID stuff. I mean, look, I'm pretty sure the Met game was canceled today, right? Or yesterday, right? The Mets were canceled because of
Just like
COVID, right? I mean,
something like that, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's still it's impacting the games, right? So I mean, an argument can be made that when those restrictions are eased and COVID's in our rearview mirror, that maybe it's safer to invest in cards. You don't have to worry about someone getting sick or somebody having their games canceled. You want to buy a star stock, card for Pete Alonso today because like his matchup, he thinks he hit 2 home runs, and you buy it and the game gets canceled. I mean, it's just there are a bunch of different sides of the coin. I think the hobby's healthy. I think that yes, we were a captive audience during this, and that did have some impact. And I am slightly concerned about the world opening back up and people spending their money on other things. But I don't think anything can really derail the full momentum we have in the hobby. You got one more, or is that it?
That's all I got.
Nice.
Reckless Cards asks, how do you know when you pull out too much? But I think that was a joke.
Yeah, that's usually that's like that. I mean, usually because it gets messy. It gets messy trying to figure out when the right time to pull out is.
Love you. Really excited for this week. Really excited for this week. We have some awesome guests coming up. Bringing you more content. We're going to be kind of doing more post-production and stuff so that we can get you the best moments and keep interacting with us. All of our comments, all of our content is from you guys, your interactions, your feedback. Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
Off this, guys, let us know what you think of this. If this is something you want us to do, this is Andrew experimenting. And also, I laid into the comments yesterday on like Apple, like the reviews and stuff like that. I haven't even looked. Have you looked? Did somebody leave us? Or have there been some reviews? Did anybody leave us any reviews? No. So that's nice. People aren't listening. But somebody did send a nice email, right? Dr. Robbie. Dr. Robbie, if you're listening, he's up in Canada. And he said, hey, Cage, don't worry about the reviews, man. There's always going to be people who don't love it, what you're saying all the time. So that was nice. It was cool to get a little email from a fan and a listener. And hopefully if you all listen to this with your kids, he told us, he's a hockey guy. Wants to talk to us about some vintage hockey plays that he thinks might make some money. So who knows? I'll do some hockey research. So I never like not knowing, right? So now I'm going to have to do research on hockey, figure out, who's the hockey play. Bobby Orr, Makita.
Hockey has as loyal and passionate fan base as I've seen. I think the MLB fan base has kind of Jimmy Guns is saying what's up. Jimmy Guns has some of the funniest content on the internet. That's your guy. You brought him on.
Man. Well, he's a YouTube champ, man. So I mean, the fact that we're doing this, he's probably like, "What the hell are we doing on YouTube?" Because this is like his domain. We're trying something new, Jimmy Guns. What's up, man? It's his world, man. He runs the gun show, and everybody watching this that hasn't seen it, go ahead and check out Jimmy Guns' gun show.
Maybe we'll do this more. We'll do more of our regularly scheduled programming, but live, so we could kind of interact and feel the cadence with our audience. I think it was fun.
Well, we'll get people to follow because right now, is it subscribers? Is that what it's called here on YouTube? I'm an old man, guys. Don't make fun of me. But I think what do we have 300-400 something like that. My daughter has like 1,200 on her channel. So let her stop making fun of me, guys. Help me out. I don't like my 11-year-old daughter telling me she has more subscribers than me. Help us out. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Happy Easter.
Bye, Magic Johnson. Documentary coming out April 15th. You heard it here first.